Can you believe that I forgot to put the music on at the start of all this? Yeah, so can you hear me? I'm doing a quick sound check just now. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I am about to start the show in, my word, about 8 seconds. We better get that Stream Deck thing up. Here we are. Come on, Stream Deck. And we will push this button now. Yes. Good evening, Scotland. Good evening, social media land. I hope you're well. Thank you for the thumbs up there for the sound. For some reason, when I put this up, it's intermittent. So you need to tell me if the sound goes intermittent with you guys. It could be that the cat chewed one of my cables. I don't know. But it's lovely to see you all here. It's lovely to have you all here just now. So we were just going to get on with this, and I will do my usual bit right at the start. Good evening, Scotland. Oh man, hold on a second. You know what? I didn't push record. Start recording. There we are. This is what happens when you have a prolonged break and you're ill and you become very unprofessional. If Barry was here, he'd be giving me that. Yeah, typical Mo. Let's start again, shall we? Good evening, Scotland. Good evening, social media land. I hope you are well. Welcome to that Indy show. It is Thursday, the 12th of January, 2023. We are recording tonight's live for the security and integrity of the message and the ability to upload and share via other platforms. If it is taken down for any reason, I will continue to record it, but I will move the live straight over to the boxes on TikTok, which will take about 5 minutes. And we can continue the discussion there. Right, very cool. Nice one. Every night I do a wee live. Okay, I do a bit of context setting. So I'm going to do the same thing here just now. So all the context is now taken from a Scotland not being able, not being in a union of equals and not being able to have a legal route to revisit its relationship with the union. And this was made perfectly clear with the decision made by the Supreme Court, which I accept wholeheartedly, okay? In actual fact, when you think about it, none of the devolved nations can instigate any form of constitutional change at all. They can't revisit their relationship with the union whatsoever. This is pretty much the major democratic deficit, the playing field that Scotland works upon to do its day job politics. We do not have the full levers of a normal independent nation to fully embrace day job politics and complete our responsibility to Scottish voters. And it's this context that I will actually do pretty much everything that I discuss here tonight.
My name's Robert, and I have a question for you. Are you yes yet?
Yes, that was Roberto. He is in the chat. I saw him up there somewhere. Robert Scrimminger. The union is the greatest thing. What? Yes. What are you? Robert, you almost had me there. Robert was previously a no voter. He's now a yes voter. He's a good friend of mine as well. And that little link I just put down there in the chat is his whole little interview about his journey from going from no to yes. And it's a great tool. It's had quite a number of views now for a small, tiny wee channel like myself. I think it's had, I don't know, we'll look it up later. Remind me later to go and have a wee look at that. But do you know what? It's good. It's a great tool to pass around and let other people see that it's okay to go from a no to yes. It's a positive thing. It's an emotional journey that you went on, and I was privileged enough to be able to turn around and experience that with them, you know, which is good. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about right now, which is a deeply personal thing to do with this tiny little channel, it's to do with how the algorithm promotes this throughout YouTube and makes it come up on different things when people chat for it. So I need you to ask you to all like this live stream, please, and leave comments as often as possible, even comments after the show's finished. Okay. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already do. Subscribe to the channel. Share the live if it's advertised. Share it on your social media to bring more people into it, and also the produced videos, because this really helps in getting the message out there. We now have, wait for this, 3,000 views of the videos and lives here on the Saltire. That's a big deal for me, you know that, because I'm a tiny, tiny little voice in this massive pond of independence creators. Okay, and we have 150 subscribers now. Again, that is a big old deal for me. It's not such a big deal for all those people that take for granted the people that come into their lives, like every single one of you guys. I appreciate the time that you give me to listen to me ramble on about independence. I appreciate the community supporting me, on Discord for this. And I hope that I can make a difference in some tiny little way when it comes to independence. So I wanted to say thank you for the 3,000 views, and I wanted to say thank you for the 150 subscribers. It's a big old deal for me, and you know what? I'm humbled when I see things like this. Anyway, thank you. Is that Ryan Adventure DJ? Is that you? Have you changed your name? I hope so. Rin F. I've not seen your name before, so happy times to have somebody new here. Who else have we got? Let's go back to the top of the chat here. In fact, you know what? I've not put the chat on camera and chat. There you go. Kieran's here. Hiya, Kieran. Kimru Cat's here too. Druss. Hiya, Druss. And Michelle. Kieran and Kimru tonight are our moderators. Okay, so we've got a little bit of rules here. We Beth, just so you know, I've not taken Nightbot off, so you can try and tease Nightbot as well if you wish. It's all very good. Nightbot is an automated sort of moderator bot, but I wanted to put a couple of human beings in, and I'll rotate this round the community if anybody wants to volunteer for it. The rules are quite simple. We're not going to have any hate speech here in the chat. You will get silence for that. Okay, we're not going to have any pointless conspiracy theories or anything that's irrelevant really to independence. You can have discussions amongst yourselves for that, and I will come back to the chat as often as possible as well, at each sort of breaking segment of tonight's live that I do. So anybody that there he is, Nightbot. So yeah, so Rin, Nightbot is merciless. Okay, he really is. So please don't take offence to all, please. Okay, if he does anything there for you. I'm scrolling down. Great, cool. Hiya, Vincent, how are you? When do I think the next referendum will be? I don't know. Sooner the better, I think. I think that would be great. Yeah, Morgan, we'll talk about that later as well. I'm going to have two tonight, but I'd like to have a couple of permanent mods too. But we'll talk about that in Discord later on too. And there's Aaron, Jimmy. Great stuff. Genuinely hurt. Don't be hurt. Oh, right, it's Dan. So it is. Thank you. I keep forgetting that you've got this name. I'm going to put, look, I've got a post-it note here. Right, look at this. We're going to do this. Post-it notes, right? I am going to put on here in great big green letters. Oh, hang on. Rin is Dan. Okay, look. See? Rin is... Hang on. Rin is Dan. And it's going to go up there on my computer so I don't forget. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so let's get started for tonight. Okay, see, when I set the context for my live streams, I never dreamed that the Scottish Government would actually do the same sort of context, similar sort of context setting for the year ahead in Holyrood. They had a debate on Tuesday where they set this context. It was quite interesting. And I listened to some of the debate, and of course, being a diehard supporter of independence, I found it very easy to take the point of view of the Scottish Government. I did, however, understand why the opposition parties felt that this was inappropriate and wanted to discuss day job politics. However, the context and scene setting of this to the Scottish electorate may have been missed by those that favour the union, and the context is virtually identical to my context that I do every single night about us having a democratic deficit, and no matter how we vote, we shall always be denied a legal route for revisiting our relationship with the union. There was a lengthy article in the National that goes through all this, and it was worth reading. And I'm going to actually read segments from it tonight, not all of it, but most of it, because it was, really, really interesting to say the least. There we go. 1 second. I need to take a little bit of coffee to. It's a big read. Okay, so here we go. On Tuesday, the Scottish Parliament held its first debate of 2023. The debate was not about the merits of independence for Scotland, it was not about the current Scottish Parliament voting for independence, and it wasn't for the Westminster Parliament, about the Westminster Parliament voting against it. It was a discussion about the Scottish people making the decision about taking a vote on independence. It was about the assertion of the right of the people of Scotland to make that choice. Both Labour and the Conservatives have for years asserted that the United Kingdom is a voluntary union, a claim that they continue to make even following last October's Supreme Court ruling, which found that the Scotland Act does not give the Scottish Parliament the legal authority to hold another independence referendum without the permission of whichever mandate-free Tory happens to be occupying Downing Street this month. Back in 1988, the Labour Party and the Lib Dems were both instrumental in drafting the Scottish Claim of Right, which affirmed that the people of Scotland, have the absolute sovereign right to choose the form of government best suited to their needs. The claim was the subject of an Opposition Day debate in the House of Commons in July 2018, where it was passed by the House. So you might think that the opposition parties in Holyrood, and certainly the Labour Party and, the 1, 2 or 3 remaining Liberal Democrats, would have no problem with a motion which called on the UK government to respect the right of the Scottish people to choose their own future, even following the Supreme Court ruling. You know that that right that they've always said that the people of Scotland have, that we have a right to go and choose? Well, of course, you would be wrong. And this would not be remotely surprised that you were wrong, because the parties opposing independence have been repeatedly revealed to be deceitful and duplicitous, there we go, about the nature of the supposedly voluntary union that they are so desperate for Scotland to remain part of. All of them expressed outrage and that the debate was even taking place. However, the only reason it was taking place was because the parties we now know that stand for English nationalist supremacy have refused to accept the verdict of the people of Scotland as expressed in the May 2021 Holyrood elections. The people voted for a parliament with a clear pro-independence majority in the full knowledge that they were voting for a parliament committed to delivering another referendum. However, ever since that election, the anti-independence parties have sought one spurious and anti-democratic reason after another to discount the result of that election and to retroactively rewrite the rules upon which elections are fought and won. This is the real outrage here, okay? Not the fact that this debate was actually taking place.
I am Mo's mum, and I have a question for you. Are you yes yet?
That was my mum. My mum comes on here sometime. I don't think that she is on tonight. I have not seen her little name come up in the chat. Of course, my whole manner and tone will change completely and be a lot more polite when my mum comes on. But just what I've said there from that article, we'll continue the article in a minute, but it's all about sort of like setting the scene there, okay, in Holyrood to show that, hey, look, Scotland does have the right to choose and we're being denied through legal ways to choose that. And that the Labour and the Lib Dems who actually were kind of important, they were the guys that wrote the Claim of Right, the modern one, and had it discussed in various different parliaments as well. So why would they be so upset about discussing this? It's a bit crazy. Let's see what it says in the chit chat. Did somebody get silenced? Okay, we'll talk about that later. Nice to have moderators though. It means I don't need to keep an eye on the chat. Right. Okay. We've got to Aaron saying Jimmy earlier on. And Rinna's Dan, of course. I'm going to change your name on Discord to Rinna's Dan, by the way. Okay, that's what's going to be funny. And Robert is saying, well, if they're desperate for us to remain part of it, make your positive case, please. Yeah, we could do with a bit of a positive case for not for independence, positive case. That was a bit of a, maybe I'm a secret unionist. Oh no. That was a Freudian slip there. Crap. I'll need to change my flags to a Union Jack now. Only joking. Only joking. Yeah, so yeah, we need to hear a positive case from the Union for Scotland to remain here. We never get one. It's always based on nostalgia and rhetoric. It's a shame. It really is. And you know what? That's enough for some people. And we have to respect that it's enough for some people, but it's not enough for other people, But there we go. Right, so let me continue with this. I've broken it up, I think, into 3 sections, and that was the longest section there. Okay, so let me continue the discussion. It is abundantly clear by now that Westminster parties only respect the verdict of the people of Scotland as expressed through the ballot box when it gives a verdict that is to Westminster's liking. That is not democracy. It's paternalism at best and colonialism at worst. Of course, democracy deniers will be outraged at being called out for their lies and the way that they just walk over democracy. But it doesn't alter the fundamental reality of the situation. By their own actions and behaviour, Labour and Conservatives have proven that Scotland cannot enjoy the functioning democracy that its people deserve as long as it remains part of this dysfunctional non-union. When the debate finally got underway in Holyrood after seeing off some attempted wrecking motions from both the Labour and the Tories, many opposition MPs continued to behave as though this debate was really about what they had wanted it to be about, and insisted on talking about the NHS rather than the topic at hand, as though they had the votes to alter the outcome. In Holyrood, the opposition parties obviously don't have the votes to alter the outcome. The Conservatives behaved as they do in the Commons, boorishly, arrogantly, and trying to howl down those who spoke in favour of the motion. And eventually the motion was passed, and Holyrood called on the UK government to respect the result of the Holyrood election, which, created the current Scottish government. All those votes and seats that we've got for the SNP and the Greens, all those vote share that we took, which was was it 50.7, I believe, if you add up all the votes for SNP, Greens and Alapa. So it's just over 50%, It's now for the Labour and Tories, though, to explain why they think that the British government should not respect the outcome of Scottish elections.
The Saltire has a growing Discord community. It is the perfect place to rub shoulders with other indie folk like yourself. If you want to be part of this community, send Mo a DM on his Twitter account @thesaltireig.
Okay, so we have a community, and it's quite a cool community. It's an independence community, and on a certain person's TikTok account, I was mocked for being a cult. Can you believe that? Mocked for having what I called a little clubhouse, a safe space for people to come and hang out and not have to worry about the criticism that I received on that person's TikTok. I don't mind that, okay? I put my face in the box here for that criticism to happen, but I don't mind it. People can be venomous and horrible about me. I have a very thick skin. I've dealt with far greater situations than people's opinions, so I really don't mind that at all. So if you want to be part of the Discord community, first of all, you kind of have to be interacting a little bit. We have to get to know you a little bit before you come in. You have to have an active social media account that we can see is pro-indie, and then a Discord account, obviously, and then send me a DM with your Discord name. And before you get into the member section, we have to basically verify you with a quick video chat so we can see that you're a real person, not a bot, not somebody that we recognise as that's somebody that's pro-union. We just want to have a space where we're happy to talk about independence, without, it's not a debating place, it's just a place to hang out and feel safe to talk about stuff. That's all. It's what it's about. So if you're a unionist, you wouldn't really be welcome. You can try and get in, but if you're not going to tick the boxes for me to check up on you, that's fine. You don't need to, but you just won't get in. And that's my decision, because it's a Discord that I kind of set up. It's not a challenge for you to get into it. It's just that I wouldn't want to come into any of your guys' places. So that's kind of where we are with it. Right, cool. I think we've got one more section to go for this, and then I'm going to discuss some pertinent points within it all as well. So from their actions in Tuesday's debate, they do not believe in the same electoral rules that should apply to Scotland as they do for Westminster. But what else is new? The real purpose of the debate in Holyrood on Tuesday, which was abundantly clear, was to highlight the democratic deficit that Scotland suffers as part of the UK. The other purpose of the debate was to ensure that the question of independence remains prominent in the public eye, despite the obvious determination of the British media to make the entirely uncomfortable subject go away. The British media is not at all interested in how democracy in Scotland is being walked over. After all, it is scarcely interested in how democracy in the UK is being operated, being quite happy to accept the outrage of two unelected prime ministers, one after the other. So it was not surprising that the Holyrood debate was not mentioned at all in the BBC's UK-wide news. The fate of the so-called union does not register out with Scotland, and that is also another reason for independence. Neither is it surprising that BBC Scotland buried the story in a short segment and gave more time to its favourite comfort zone topic, the football. Now, this particular piece that I've read. Okay, I'm going to give you the link so you can sign up to the newsletters if you want. Okay, is from a newsletter called Real Scottish Politics. Okay, it's emailed out at 7 p.m. every weekday with a roundup of the day's top stories and exclusive analysis from that great independence writer, the wee ginger Doug. Now, if you want this, okay, I'm going to stick this down in here just now. It's done through the newspaper, The National. You can go on to there. I think you need to set up an account with The National. You don't need to subscribe to The National, but you might need to have an actual account. Okay, so click onto that little bit there, and then you'll get a wee window coming up, and it'll have different things you can sign up for. Click the plus symbol for Real Scottish Politics. Okay, and that will allow you guys to get those things. I quite like them. I read them quite a lot, and I use them to inspire me to write my own stuff for here. But this one I thought was particularly good. Okay, so looking at the debate, you can see clearly that the pro-Indy Scottish Government is ensuring that the question of independence remains live and relative within Scottish politics at Holyrood by setting a context from which they discuss day job politics. The Scottish public, with the Scottish public who can see past the Anglo-British nationalist rhetoric, that can see through the nonsense and the boorish behaviour of the Tories and the shoutiness of the Labours now. Okay, it means that these British nationalist parties in Holyrood have to justify why certain decisions cannot be made fully at Holyrood. It means that they have to turn round and can be held to question about why they accept this democratic deficit, why they don't like, why they don't want Scotland to have that ability to revisit themselves and revisit their relationship with the union. Now, some people have said tonight on lives on TikTok and various articles that come up all the time that, well, we had our opportunity and we discussed it all in 2014. But we have to keep reminding them that things have changed. The world has actually changed so much. And when I say the world, I kind of actually just mean these islands, this union. It's no longer the same thing that was promised us in 2014. And we have almost a whole 9 years of people growing up now that never had a say in this particular process. And I'm pretty sure the majority of them are, more than likely going to be yes voters at the end of the day. Kind of scary. Right, we're going to have a quick look at the chat, then we're going to play the Murdo video, and we've been chatting now for half an hour, and yeah, let's see what's going to go on here. So, chit chat, here we go. Oh my god, Beth, are you upsetting Nightbot again? What was Ross's face like when Holyrood voted for Indy again? I feel a part of me, part of me wants to feel sorry for him. And then I slap myself in the face and take a big, massive dose of reality and realise what an absolute... Why do I keep hitting my microphone? Honestly, it keeps bouncing around. I need to sit back a wee bit. Yeah, I just... part of me wants to feel sorry for him, but... No, not at all. I kind of feel that he's a victim of his own nonsense. There was a great one. I watched it. It came up on my TikTok For You page, and it was where I've played it in lives here when we've talked about the EU and stuff. It was when Douglas Ross turned round and he said, was talking about how we would have to take the euro, and an article in the Times from anonymous sources in the EU said, yes, we would have to take the euro and we wouldn't have a choice. And then Nicola totally destroyed him. I mean, does he think that because the party, his parent party down in London, are filled with overactive, privileged wankers, that, he can act like a privileged wanker and think that he's right? Maybe he does. It's a shame though, isn't it? So a waste there. It's a waste of oxygen and potential talent of doing something else. I don't reckon for once. Well, actually, no. See, that's me feeling sorry for him again. I don't want to feel sorry for him. Slap me, Nightbot. I don't want to feel sorry for Douglas Ross. And let's just go straight to this.
If Scotland leaves the UK, we lose roughly a third of the landmass of Great Britain, probably around half of our territorial waters. We lose the magnificent resource that is Scottish fishing waters. We lose the opportunities from North Sea oil and gas. We lose the potential for renewable energy from Scotland's coasts and in the North Sea and the Atlantic. We lose access to barrier-free trade for Scotch whisky and Scotch salmon, all these fantastic exports, the opportunity to study at some of the world's greatest universities in Scotland, and the joy of having Scots as part of the British nation. Why would you want to throw that away?
Can you hear me now? There was something flashing on my screen there. Okay. Big thumbs up if you can hear me. I'll just wait. Robert just sent me a wee message saying that just now. I will wait. I will wait. I will wait. Why did that happen? I switched the mic on. Yes, okay, cool. I just talked all about the royal family there for nothing. Right, good. It's probably better that I did that. Should we start the papers again, yeah? Okay. Men with fast cars do have tiny dipsticks. Yes, okay, we like the star for this. I'm just going to whiz through this. Okay, we talked briefly with, I don't know what happened. The mic was actually on. This could be the problem that I've got with the mic because, and I've got an echo now. Have I got an echo? I'm going to wait just now. Druss says I've got an echo. I'm going to wait just now. If I'm going to just speak, I'm going to speak and you can tell me if I've got an echo. There's no other channels on my sound thing just now. Hang on a second. A communication one was on there for, what's it called? For Discord, but that shouldn't make a difference because I'm not on Discord just now. I'm fine for you, Morgan, yeah? Good for you as well, Dan. Brilliant. Great. Good. We shall continue on. I was given an opinion briefly about the kill count situation that was discussed in the media about Prince Harry. It's just to let you understand that it was taken out of context with regards to what was in his book, all right? And we also have to understand as well that it was actually the day that it happened, it was reported in the papers years ago about what had happened too. And my whole opinion of the royal families, I'm a bit indifferent about them, but we have to understand that the SNP want to keep the royal family. Okay, they want to keep it. And I don't think that it's relevant for me just now with regards to independence. I want independence first, and then if the Scottish people want to revisit their relationship with, what's it called, with the royal family, they can do so. It's a process that they can have. Some people might think that would be a shame. Absolutely. Some people might think that it's important to do so, but I don't think it will be my generation that will do it. I think it's probably more likely to be my son's generation that will end up looking at that, or his children. And that is the papers caught up with after the microphone fail. Microphone fail. Right, let's go back to the papers. Boom. Oh boy. Royals united after Harry. Talking therapies don't work for everyone. There was an interesting person in James's live earlier on that was talking about these guys' visit to a hospital today and how they didn't really publish much about it. And you know something, some people might think that they work hard. Some people might think that that they don't work hard. Again, I just want to go back to feeling indifferent, but I don't want to sit here and talk about the royal family, to be perfectly honest. But it's going to come up again. Let's see what Daily Express is. Yeah, there we go. There's another little bit there. Smiling William tells crowds to keep going because he is such an inspiration. Life-saving statins. Yep, I like that. That's something that's good. And yes, Guardian doesn't have anything on it. Barclay privately admits he must increase pay offer to NHS workers. Of course he should. Concern at Johnson's trip to meet Zelensky. That's sitting down there. Climate crisis was foreseen by Exxon. Papers are boring just now, aren't they? Oh my god. Let's just... Right, okay. Here's cancer torment. What's that say? Let's see what it says on that thing. Firefighters with terminal disease after breathing toxic fumes and blaze. That happens too often, doesn't it? Dear me. Okay, moving on. Oh. Net zero plan to ban gas boilers in a decade. Right, this was something to do with like heat exchangey stuff and having like community heating things. They do this in Moscow, and I'm saying Moscow because that's where my wife worked for a very long time. She's Russian, so in her block, the heating is generated away from the building, and it's kind of switched on depending on the temperature. That it does in the summer. It's very hot in Moscow. In the winter, it's friggin' freezing. So it's done as a social sense of heating, because they really have to do it there. It gets down to like minus 20, minus 25 sometimes. So the heating is very minimal cost. And there's a great way that in my research on sustainability and things, that they've discovered in Finland that they can use sand batteries, they call them, and it's like when they dig a massive sort of like massive hole in the ground. Basically, it's not just a hole, but it's like a silo that goes down, and they use excess power generated by wind farms or hydroelectric to heat the sand, and the sand stays hot for months. So it can be used, it could be generated through solar, through whatever means that they want, renewable energy, and the energy is pumped into these big sand pits, these sand silos. And I was thinking, why couldn't you have those in communal little parks? I've got like a big grassy bit next to my house. It's not a park, but it's part of the road that like a cul-de-sac goes round. Why can't we like have like a big silo dug straight down there, okay, and used for something for community heating for that? And everybody, has like some form of generation for electricity, like the solar cells that you can use these days are are pretty efficient, even for Scottish lack of sunshine. Why can't we have that? Why can't we do all those different things to have this? I'm actually all for this, to ban gas boilers. There's probably different ways of generating that sort of thing for it all. But why is Aldi cheaper than Waitrose? A front page. Yeah, where's that? Is that on? All right. You taking the mickey out of me, Dan? Yeah, amazing. 34 homeless children die in England in 3 years. Was that an acceptable amount? Revealed for the first time, damning new research on the public health crisis of homeless children who are forced into temporary accommodation. Being homeless may have contributed to sudden and unexpected deaths of at least 34 children between 2019 and 2022. That's borderline triggering me just now. I think it's a human right, an absolute necessity that everybody should have a house. I'm very pro social housing. I live in a council house. I would never be able to afford private letting. I'm also very pro buying your own house as well. But I do feel that we need to have more social housing created for people to have the security and warmth of a house. I think homelessness in this century, in this friggin' country, on these islands, is a joke. Absolute, it's a disgrace. Absolute, it's disgusting. Disgusting. Financial Times, Biden faces special counsel probe into sensitive files found at Home and Office. Yawn. American politics. Yawn. I don't have an interest in American politics. At all. At all. Metro. Sex at number 10. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to Google the shit out of that in a second. Hold on a minute. Where is my other open window? I'll go to that one. Okay. I need to read this article. I'm going to look it up right now, and we're going to actually read it. So what's that say? Sex at number 10 COVID party. I wonder if it was Boris. Okay, Downing Street rocked by... Okay, so I've just pulled up an Express article about this. I will read it to you. A new ITV podcast called Partygate, The Inside Story, has seen whistleblowers alleged more shocking details about what happened at number 10 during lockdown. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, let's just go into here. That's better. Right. It has been reported that some of Boris Johnson's aides had sex Sex at Downing Street during the gathering held while COVID curbing restrictions were in place. The event in question occurred on April 16th, 2021, the evening before the Duke of Edinburgh's funeral. A number of witnesses. A number of witnesses. What was it? Somebody's been watching them. Oh, sorry there. Oh. It's really good. Yeah. You're doing well there, mate. Yeah. Good for you. Yep. Oof. Didn't even know you could do that. I'll just shut the door now. At the time of the gathering, it was illegal for people to have sex. No, sorry, it was illegal for people to socialise indoors with people not from their own household, not to have sex with people from their own household. No. And, right, I'm going to read that again. At the time of the gathering, it was illegal for people to socialise indoors with people not from their own household, and gatherings were only allowed for work purposes, not sex purposes. The gathering saw aides and officials packed into number 10 for the party. Were they all doing it in the same room? Which continued past 4 a.m. One couple were observed feeling each other up in the kitchen before moving into a room where they later emerged flustered. Okay. The other pair. Oh, there was two pairs. Two pairs. Okay. The other pair were seen sneaking off into an office with the lights off. Two gatherings were taking place on April evening as a junior photographer. Did the photographer take pictures of this? Why aren't they in the papers? That's the shit that I want to see. Well, not really, not because of that sounded wrong. It came out wrong, okay? I want to see who did this. Okay, they should be embarrassed. They should, absolutely. Approximately 30 people, read the rest of the sentence. Approximately 30 people were thought to have attended the party before the party moved to Downing Street's garden and the group merged together. Now, was that the group of the two people merging, the four people, the two pairs, did they all merge together? Did they? I'm not reading this anymore. No, I'm too engrossed. Former Prime Minister Boris Johnson was not in attendance at the event. The party, or the office with the lights out. Oh my God, this reads for absolute perfect satire. It really, really does. Former Prime Minister Boris Johnson was not in attendance at the event, but he would have loved to have been there to watch, which became well known as for partygoers as stashing wine in a suitcase, blah, 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 blah. Oh my word. What do you make of that? Partygate was Sexgate. Crazy. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat, because we're going to move across to Discord in a minute or two. Okay, here we go. Right. Hi, Cheryl. Think until we get Indy to get the max votes. Yeah, totally. We're talking about the royal family there. Who's an inspiration? Aaron? I missed that because I was too busy looking at that's the book sorted by Commonweal in stores. It's in stores now. That's good. You need to put the link for that on Discord, Kimru, please. And if you've got a link, stick it in here as well, please. In fact, where did I put the book? On the floor. Yes, it is. Because I think you'll be able to see this better on camera here now. See, look, that is it there. For God's sake, there's too many things on my screen. Hold on. Bollocks. We need you like that. That's us, right? So it's called Sorted. A handbook for a better Scotland. It's a lot less of a taxing read than this monstrosity from 2014, Scotland's Future. Look how thick that is compared to that. There we go. It's about half as thick. It's light reading. It's really interesting. It kind of sets the scene as having a what's the word I'm looking for? It sets the scene for more of a united sort of way of thinking for a civilization, more of a well-being sort of idea for it all, putting people first rather than companies and organizations and profit and stuff. And I quite liked it. I thought it was quite good. So far from what I've read from it. Hold on a wee second. That's better. I don't know why that was like that. Cool. Okay, let's have a quick look at the rest of it. So yeah, the book is in the shops. That's good. Papers have nothing to contort now. But the electric air pump systems of the new gas boilers. Yeah, absolutely. Was that not the thing that the Queen didn't want to put in Balmoral? She didn't want to conform to new Scottish environmental laws. You know, I don't know. Why is Aldi cheaper than Waitrose? Right, okay, we talked briefly. In Poland, some homes and most blocks of flats heating run off the hot water from the factories. Yeah, these things are great ideas. Only the Guardian has shreds of decency. Very true. Okay, it's all gone beyond disgusting. Yeah, we're dirty, big dirty. Did Hansy Hancock take part as well? Hansy Hancock. I kind of feel dirty. I'm giving you bad. Sorry, Aaron. Sorry. Bad images. A gang explosion. Can you? No, I'm not even going to say can you imagine that. I don't want to imagine that. You know, at all. Oh my God. Oh my God. Teresa no. Truss. You guys are awful. You know, I suppose I brought it up. I can't turn around and say anything other than like yuck. Right, okay. Let's just finish up for tonight. Listen, thank you everybody for coming along. I hope that the discussion tonight about how the Scottish Government have set the context for pretty much every discussion they're going to have now in Holyrood is kind of on the bed of why can't we have an independence referendum? Okay, which is the right thing to do because, you know, we democratically voted for it. But yep, I hope it's useful. It's something that we should act all superior with at all. Well, you don't have an argument for not having independence until you give us the opportunity to actually turn around and vote for one. And let's hear why you lovely people that believe in the union don't want us to have one. Well, you had one in 2014. Really not an argument, mate. Really not an argument. But there you go. Okay, so if you... What's that? You're missing... Link. Goodbye, stop spamming symbols. Warning. Oh, Beth. That's it. Nightbot's coming off. He's upset me. He's upsetting my Beth. Good night, Declan. Good night, Kieran. Sorry, not good night, Declan. Good night, Kieran. Okay, so we're going to go and head across to Discord. If you want to join Discord, you know how to do it. You need to get in touch with me on either Instagram or Twitter. The Twitter account is at the Saltire IG, and on Instagram it's just the Saltire. And Nightbot was timed out by Kieran. That's the best thing ever. Oh wow. Yeah, so get in touch at these two platforms with your Discord name. Make sure that I can see a social media account, either the Twitter or the Instagram, that's kind of live and active and pro indie. We'll get you into the welcome zone. Once you're in the welcome zone, you and I can have a quick video chat so I can confirm that it's yourself, and then we'll get you across to the members bit. Okay? That would be cool. So in the meantime, I will see everybody that's wanting to come across to Discord for a wee while on Discord very soon. And yeah, have a great evening, and I should be back tomorrow night. See you soon.